you're looking, I think you're looking at me. It's getting harder. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, All Things GarageBand. I'm Jeremy Haas. This is the first video in a three-part series showing you guys how to transfer your files first off from your iMac's GarageBand to your iPad's GarageBand. In the second video, I'll be showing you guys, once you've done that, how to locate those files on your iPad, and then how to add new tracks to that project and songs, or to that song. And then also, and then the third one will be actually, once you're done doing that, transferring the new tracks and everything back to your iMac, the original project you were working on. Okay, you got to learn this step at a time. So I suggest starting with this first video here, just because it's a lot to take in. But once you've got it, you're good to go, for several reasons. Now, real quick, I'll explain. There'll be a couple of reasons you might want to learn how to do this. If you've got GarageBand on your iMac and your iPad or iPhone, you're probably using your iPad as a portable recording DAW, so you can go on tour or record yourself or someone else in another studio, bring it home to your studio, and then transfer it up to your desktop, you know. And the reason I use it for is, if you have an older generation, if you have a newer generation iPad, I believe it's 9th generation or newer, or especially the M1 chimps, you don't have to worry about a lot of this stuff. You can bypass all this. So if you have the money, I suggest upgrading. But if you're like me, I'm a struggling musician, you got to buy a piece at a time, and you kind of got to work with what you've got. So if you got an 8th generation iPad or older, you've got to do it this way if you want to use your iPad for this reason. I like to use the drum kits or the MIDI keyboards on the iPad, the Surface, instead of using a MIDI drum pad or something, or a sampler with the big old pads that are hard to hit, because you can get a lot of fingers going if you're doing live recordings, get the live feel like live drums. And I love the drum kits that come with GarageBand, especially that play them on that with that Surface base, like I was saying. Now, if you want to use those MIDI instruments and record it and use it in your project on your iMac, you've got to do it this way. You've got to first, if you're working on a project on your iMac, send the files you want to hear while you add these new instruments on your iPad, and then send all those files back together, and then you can work on it, and then you can just fine-tune everything and get around it easier on your iMac, if that makes any sense. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so if you guys want to follow along, go ahead and click on your GarageBand icon. We'll open it up on our iMac here. Alright guys, so this is the song and the project I will be using to show you guys how to transfer your files back and forth between your iMac's GarageBand to your iPad's GarageBand, okay? So this is called In the Worst Way, and what I'm going to do is, well, first off, what I did here, and I'm just going to show you what I did, and then you can just, so I'm just going to show you what I did, because I'm doing rock and metal and heavy metal music and stuff like that, hard rock. So I'm going to be using a bass and guitars in this and drums. That's how I'm going to show you how to transfer files. But basically, if any type of genre you're in, you can just follow along with any type of instrument or whatever you're using, okay, to get the idea of what I'm talking about. So, and vocals, whatever. Anyways, so first off, what I did is I'm just gonna mute these drums so you can't see them there. Those green parts, those were the drums. But anyways, I first, on the iMac on GarageBand, I recorded the bass part, which is this purple part, and then I recorded 4 rhythm guitar tracks, distortion guitar tracks. And those are the same, it's not the same take, it's 4 different takes, but the same part. Got them as close as possible together as I could, and then I pan to the left and to the right, makes it a real wide sound. And that's a whole different video. I'll show you how to do that to make your music sound really big and wide. But now I'm just showing you how to transfer files. But this has to do with this. Now, so what I did is then okay, so this is where it gets kind of tricky. So when you transfer your files over to, I'm showing you guys how to transfer files over to GarageBand's, your iPad's GarageBand from here, and to add new tracks to that with your iPad, like I like to use the drum kits and stuff, and then send all those new recorded tracks back to your iMac's GarageBand, and then you finish the project there. And that's what I did. I sent just a couple tracks over that I needed to hear as playback,
and I recorded these new drum tracks down, and then on my iPad, and I sent it all back to my iMac, and now it's done. Except, I mean, it's now vocals, and I'll put the rest of it in here, which I already have the song done. This is just the first version of it, but I just want to show you how I do this. So anyways, I'm going to play you a clip of this real quick, a short clip of it, so you get an idea what the finished product sounds like, you know, once you've sent it over there and sent it back, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's not the finished product, but close enough, you know, that kind of thing. So here we go. All right, so what I did is I sent these over, and then I listened to playback, and I on the iPad, and I recorded kick and drums on one track, and then the cymbals on the other, hi-hats and rides and stuff, crashes. And then later on in the program, you can kind of split this up a little bit better. You can get more in depth in your drums, but that's a different story altogether. Anyways, so make this not complicated, Jeremy. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and mute these to the drum tracks now that you've heard the whole thing finished, and we're just going to pretend I didn't record these drums yet. Okay, let's just record. We're going to pretend that I started off with a bass track and these 4 guitar tracks, and now I want to add drums to it. So I'm going to send it over to the iPad's GarageBand, show you guys how to do that. Now, this is another very important thing to know is, okay, so when I send these over, anything I don't mute and that's lit up here, like the guitars and bass, it'll send them all over, and unfortunately it sends it all over on one track, and you're stuck with that track. And it puts them all right down the middle, so it'll make these, instead of being left and right and give that wide sound, it'll put it all right down the middle, and all of a sudden it sounds muddy and it sounds bad. So now this is what you get with the older generation iPads. You got to do this. You're only sending these over to hear these as playback to add new tracks to, if you see what I'm saying here. Now, it's a whole different story if you want to actually send these tracks over, the bass and guitar tracks, and send them over and work on those separately on those actual tracks I'm sending over, and record to those, add more stuff to it. On the iPad, that's a different story. You got to send each track over one at a time, and it's a long process. I don't suggest doing this because there's no reason to do that unless you work on your iMac ever again, and you're just got an iPad. Then you'd want to transfer all your stuff track at a time so you can work on your iPad. But this is great for if you just need these couple here for playback. So I just send over the bass and one guitar, and it puts it right down the middle, so I just hear what I need to hear, so I can add the new tracks, the drum tracks to it, and then send it all back and then work on it all here. See what I'm saying? That's how you got to do it, unfortunately, with a Generation 8 iPad or later. So yeah, if you got the money, like I said, and you want to upgrade, that'd be great. And one chip is killer. I mean, you don't have to. You can bypass all this stuff. You don't have to even worry about this stuff. But you know, if you're a struggling musician like I am, this is what you've got to do. So, anyways, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to mute all these tracks except for one guitar track and one bass track. Okay, and I'm going to send these bad boys over. Okay, and so we're going to go up to the share window. And I'm going to go down to Project to GarageBand for iOS, okay? Left click on that. And then since I've tried to do this video a couple times and messed it up, I've already sent the same song over trying to do this video. So it says this to me, but it won't probably say it to you. This project was previously shared to the Project for iOS. Do you want to share again? Yes, I do, because I'm showing you guys how to do this. All right, so this is very important. You want to name this something different. So I'm sending this over to add drum tracks to it. So it's in the worst way, and then I'll call it drums 9, because I've already tried this a bunch of times with a bunch of different drums, so you remember what it is. And now this is very important. You want to change this from iCloud Drive to GarageBand for iOS, not Mac, iOS. We're sending it there. Okay, but the whole project will stay here with the GarageBand. It's just sending a copy of it over, basically. Save. And there it goes. It's going to copy this, bounce it, and convert it to a different whatever and file kind of thing, and then it'll be ready. It'll send it over. And just to let you know, it takes a second to bounce, and then depending on if you're on Ethernet or how new your computer is or how much RAM you have, or how your Wi-Fi is, like I said, it might take a minute or two, or a couple of minutes, 5 minutes even, up to get that from here to your iPad. So give it some time to download your iPad, okay? And after this, I'll switch to my iPad screen, and we'll go from there to show you, that it transferred over there, okay? Oh, another very important thing real quick before Yeah, you don't want to make sure that you don't send this over with your metronome turned on or your counting turned on. And it's very important that you don't send any of these files back, the new tracks that you're filing, with the metronome on. You can record with it on both iPad and on your iMac, but when you send files, make sure your metronome and stuff's all turned off, okay? Because it will sometimes get stuck on your track. I know it's strange, that's what you get though. So, hey. Alright guys, so now I've transferred it over to the iPad. It should be there by now. Let's go ahead and click on the GarageBand icon on our iPad to open it up. And if you're not on your GarageBand's menu or menu page, go to that. And here it is. It downloaded it. In the Worst Way, Drums 9. We just sent that over here, and see it. I need to download it still by clicking on it. But if it doesn't show up and you can't find it yet, and it's been a while, go over your iCloud Drive and click on that. Then go to your GarageBand for iOS, click on that, and then it should be right there at the top. Or at least if you have it, up here. If you go up here, click on that bad boy. You can set this to date, and then it'll put the newest thing that you worked on that day or sent over there at the top, so you can find it. Or you can just type it in at the search thing. Okay, that's very important to know. Or it'll be at the bottom, you can't find it, and you're like, never sent it over. That no one told me that at first, but it's obvious. It's kind of obvious if you think about it. But anyways, so now I'm gonna go ahead and click on this bad boy right here.
Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned something. Now, like I said, this is the first video in a 3-part series. So if you wait just a second, in a second you'll see 2 different thumbnails come up for 2 other videos. Those will be the second and third video of this 3-part series. So you can finish out learning how to transfer files back and forth between your iMac and your iPad. Anyways, if you guys want to see any more videos like this, anything to do with GarageBand, either on your iMac, your iPad, or iPhone, please check out my channel, All Things GarageBand. If you guys want to see, or if you guys want to hear any of the music you hear throughout any of my videos, that's my band Haas. You can check out my music at Jeremy Haas, and I like music lyric videos on the YouTube channel. Or you can check out my stuff, Haas, anywhere on any music platform. Please leave some comments. Love to hear what you guys think about the videos and the music and everything. And anything you'd like to see in the videos or any questions you have, please leave them. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Anyways, you guys have an awesome day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Woo! That leaves it wide open. Yeah.